My friend, have you ever felt like your world was crumbling? Have you ever faced trials so overwhelming that you questioned everything? If you have, then the story of Job is for you. It's one of the most powerful, heartbreaking, and yet deeply inspiring stories in the Bible. A man who had everything, wealth, family, health, lost it all in an instant. But what's more incredible is what he did next. He didn't curse God, he didn't turn away. Instead, he held on to his faith, even when it seemed impossible. And in the end, God restored everything Job had lost and more. If you have ever been through a storm, if you have ever felt tested in ways you didn't understand, type "I trust God" in the comments. Because today, we are going to see how faith in the fire leads to unshakable strength. Job wasn't just any man, he was righteous, honored, and incredibly blessed. He had vast wealth with thousands of livestock, countless servants, and a large, loving family. He was respected in his community, known for his kindness and generosity. More importantly, he was devoted to God. He feared the Lord and lived a life of integrity. Imagine having everything: financial stability, a home filled with love, and a reputation of honor. That was Job's life. But as we know, life can change in an instant. Sometimes trials come not because we have done something wrong, but because our faith is being tested. Job had no idea that a storm was coming that would shake him to his core. One day in the courts of heaven, Satan stood before God. He accused Job, claiming that the only reason Job was faithful was because of his blessings. "Take everything away," Satan challenged, "and he will curse you to your face." Can you imagine that? Being the subject of a divine conversation, a test you didn't even know was happening. God allowed Satan to test Job, but with limits. Satan could take his possessions, his family, even his health, but he could not take Job's life. Sometimes, when we go through hardships, we ask, "Why me?" But what if your trial was actually proof of your faithfulness? What if, like Job, you were being tested because God saw something unshakable in you? The unthinkable happened. One by one, Job's servants came running to him with terrible news. His oxen and donkeys were stolen. His sheep and camels were killed. His servants were slaughtered. And then, the worst news of all, his children. All of them were gone. A great wind struck their house and it collapsed. Imagine the devastation. One moment Job had it all. The next he was left with nothing. How would you react if everything you loved was taken away in an instant? Most of us would break. But Job? He fell to the ground and worshipped. Yes, you heard that right. He worshipped God, saying, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." That kind of faith is rare. It's the kind of faith that doesn't waver, even in the fire. Satan wasn't done. If losing his family and fortune wasn't enough, Job's body was afflicted with painful sores from head to toe. Imagine being covered in wounds, unable to find relief, scraping your skin with a piece of pottery just to ease the agony. Job, the once proud and noble man, was now sitting in ashes, unrecognizable, abandoned by nearly everyone. Even his wife, broken by grief, told him, "Curse God and die." Can you blame her? Sometimes suffering makes us bitter. But Job refused. "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" he asked. His faith was still holding on, but his heart was heavy, and that's when his friends arrived. At first, Job's friends seemed to do the right thing. They sat with him in silence for 7 days, mourning his pain. But then they started talking. Instead of comforting him, they accused him. "You must have done something wrong," they insisted. "God wouldn't let this happen to an innocent man." Have you ever been blamed for your suffering? Have you ever felt misunderstood in your pain? Job defended himself, but doubt was creeping in. He started to wonder, why was God allowing this? Job had been strong, but now he broke. He cursed the day he was born. He cried out to God, demanding answers. Why was this happening? Where was God? Have you ever been in that place, where the silence of heaven is louder than your cries? Job didn't understand, but here's the lesson. Questioning God is not the same as abandoning him. Even in his anguish, Job never turned away. Finally, God answered, but instead of explaining, he asked Job questions. "Where were you when I laid the earth's foundations? He challenged Job to see the bigger picture. Sometimes we won't get the answers we want, but if we trust God, we'll find peace, even without understanding. Job realized something. He didn't need all the answers. He needed faith. "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you," he declared. His suffering led him to a deeper relationship with God. Because Job remained faithful, God restored him. He gave him twice as much as before, more wealth, more children, more blessings. But Job's greatest gift wasn't material. It was the revelation of who God truly is. Job's story isn't just about suffering. It's about faith, perseverance, and trust. Trials will come, but if we hold on, we will see God's faithfulness. If you believe God is faithful, type "God is good" in the comments. Like this video, share it, and subscribe, because someone out there needs this message today. Hold on, my friend. Your restoration is coming.